Okay, we are streaming now, so I can't talk anymore.
Brilliant. Welcome. Happy Monday morning, guys. Today is August 17th. Welcome to the pre-market overview with the Tradictive channel. My name is Becky. If you've never joined us before, that's me there. My email address, becky@tradictive.com. You can email me if you have questions about anything I cover today. There's also the support team. These guys being a team are often actually quicker at responses, so you can get those guys support@tradictive.com. Everybody on the team is a trader, and so always happy to help with whatever questions that you have. So just a reminder for those that have been with us before, or a new piece of information for those that haven't, what we go over on the pre-market overview, mainly we are looking at our newsletter. So our newsletter gets sent out every day, Monday to Friday. And on that newsletter, we look at 4 of the major markets in the world, the direction we think they're going in, how long we think they're going to do that for, where price might turn, volatility, and high impact news as well. So we do the pre-market overview for 15-20 minutes to just expand on those concepts, expand on how we use the technology, how we came to the conclusions that we did, and just explain it for those that might need a little bit more background to it. If you want to subscribe to the newsletter to get that document every day, then if you email us newsletter@tradewithufos.com, and we will put you on that subscription list and you will get it every day. So just a quick reminder for those of you that are joining us from within the Tradictive channel. Today is Monday, so we have futures at 9 a.m. Eastern and then options at 9 a.m. Eastern. During the week, we have, during Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have stocks and investing, and then obviously you can see their futures and options Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Over the weekend, we do sharpening sessions where we're looking at methodology, answering questions, expanding on concepts and theory, as well as psychology sessions as well. Speaking of psychology, our live psychology class started the other day. That is running at the moment. That starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. We then have futures after that, then a trading plans class later on in the month. And this is the next upcoming backtesting class at the end of September. Now, I just need to put the disclaimer on the screen there. It is a long one, so I'm going to read it to you. You're welcome to mute me if you would like to read it. Maybe your eyes can move as quickly as that thingy that's moving across the screen there. Otherwise, you can go to www.youcantrade.com for additional disclosure information, or you could always obviously pause the video or come back and look at it later if you would like to read it in its entirety. In a nutshell, we are basically saying that what we are showing you here is not trading advice. We are showing you demonstrations and ideas. Obviously, there is a risk involved in trading that you need to be aware of and need to accept before you trade, and that the risk is yours with the money you choose to use. These are just trading ideas. Okay, right, now that we've done that, let's go and have a look at the newsletter. So this is what it looks like. This is what we send out every day. And as you'll see here, we do go through 4 of the major markets in the world. We look at the S&P, so one of the major equity indexes or indices, oil and gold, both major commodities, and the euro, which when looked at as the euro-US dollar, is the highest traded currency pair in the world. So a lot of volume moves through that market. In fact, the US dollar, just by itself, is responsible for about 80% of transactions worldwide every day in various markets. So again, fair to say we have covered quite a lot of what goes on in the markets out there in these 4 major markets. And maybe you don't trade these directly, but there will be correlations, I'm sure, with markets that you do trade just based on the fact that there's a lot of volume that moves through this market, and they obviously do have impacts on other markets too. Now, you'll see as well that we go through a daily time frame for each of the markets that we look at. Of course, different things happen on different time frames. So if you trade really small time frames or really big time frames, of course, be aware there will be differences. But the daily time frame does seem to fall within what most people do. Whether you're long-term investing or short-term trading, the daily time frame is very commonly used and something that most people will be looking at. Now, for each of the markets, we're going to look at climate, which what we mean by climate is effectively trend. In what direction is the market moving, and what are the probabilities associated with that? Propagating, how long can we expect that move to continue? So if we're in an upwards trend or an upwards climate, how long can we expect to keep being in an upwards climate? Same for a downwards climate. And we do that by understanding here on the right-hand side, shows us how long that move normally happens for. So how long would a market normally go up for? How long would a market normally go down for? It's showing us the statistical probabilities and the likelihood of what normally happens in the markets. And then we see here on the left-hand side is how far are we now into that normal move? So how long have we been going in that direction? So again, it just gives us an idea of what we can expect moving forwards. We use our Auto Climate app to give us the details on this. I'll show you that in a minute on the chart. We also want to look at our nearest UFOs. So UFO stands for unfilled orders. Unfilled orders mean where we expect there to be big stacks of either buy orders in the markets that can push price up or sell orders that can push price down, where we expect there to be enough orders that could turn price. So we use our Auto UFO app to help find these on a chart for us and highlight to us using flying saucers, hence UFOs, highlight to us on a chart where these orders are likely to be. We're also going to come down and for each market look at volatility. So just to explain quickly what we mean by volatility, it means how far we expect price to move within given periods of time, or effectively how fast we expect markets to move. Now we look at these current implied volatility numbers. This is where we get the statistics from. And you'll see that each of these numbers are a percentage. They're also referring to the annualized expectation. So meaning each of these numbers reflect what we would expect up or down in 1 year as a percentage of its current value. Now, we get these numbers, they come from the options of these markets. Now, options are normally traded by professional traders, especially in these major markets. And so when buyers and sellers of options, the professional traders are buying and selling it, inherent in what they're willing to buy and sell it for is the risk they're willing to take based on how fast they think it will move. So effectively, this number represents what professional traders think. It's the professional opinion of what volatility we could expect. So we understand what the annualized number is, and then we can reverse engineer that to see what we expect in a day, in a week, and in a month in terms of movement up or down in those periods of time. Once we've done those per market, we will then come down and look at upcoming news. But to start with, let's go and look at the S&P, and we'll go through all of these features. So we are using SPX.X for the S&P chart. That is the symbol on TradeStation for the index. Okay, so this is our Auto Climate app on the bottom here. The Auto Climate app, like I said, tells us the trend, tells us the direction that the market is moving in, but it also gives us probabilities. So the way it shows us that is by showing us one of three things. We can either see a thick blue dot, which is what we see here. That tells us we are in a confirmed upwards trend, meaning we're in an upwards market and we have probabilities to the upside. It could show us a thick red dot. Same thing, but reverse. It will tell us that we're in a confirmed downwards climate, that we're moving to the downside and we have probabilities to the downside. Or it could show us a thin dot of either color. The color still tells us the direction, but the thinness of the dot is telling us that there are less probabilities. There is a lack of statistical advantage there, and therefore we would choose normally not to do anything on those days. So in this case, we have a thick blue dot, confirmed upwards climate, movement to the upside with probabilities to the upside. We see here our closest stack of buy orders. This is our top green UFO there. We call this our buy UFO. The numbers for that are 3294.61 to 3284.53. That's the closest stack of buy orders. Now, as you'll see, there are no sell orders. We have no sell UFOs above us. That's because we've just about hit all-time highs. So we have no sell orders above us right now. The Auto UFO app can't find them because they're not there. So for the time being, nothing on the chart to show us any selling pressure. So coming back to understand propagating. Now, normally we would expect that the S&P would go up for 11 candles. By the way, everything that's on that right-hand side, I'm going to round it up. No matter what the decimal point is, I'm going to round it up to the next number. So this would be 11. So normally we see that the S&P would go up for 11 candles on a daily chart, and we're on candle number 12, meaning we have just surpassed what is normal, just surpassed what is statistically likely. Now, that's not to say we won't continue to do that. We've seen things happen where we can go quite far overextended as to what is normal. Obviously, within any forms of statistics, you're going to have things that fall outside of that. But it's just about putting as many probabilities and odds in our favor as we can. So the further we go past what is statistically likely to happen, the less probability we have that it's going to continue to do that. So think about it like an elastic band. The more you pull an elastic band, the more likely it is to contract on itself, the less likely it is to allow you to continue to pull it. Same principle here. The more we go past what is probable, the less probability we have, right? So yes, we have a confirmed upwards climate, probabilities to the upside. We have buy orders underneath us and we have no sell orders above us, but we have gone over what is statistically likely for a continuous move to the upside. So just bear that in mind because that's the area where we are lacking some probabilities. Okay, so in terms of movement, we look at VIX.X in order to get the current implied volatility numbers for the S&P. And we see from that we would expect, or professional traders of options would expect, that the S&P would move up or down in 1 year by 22.44%, which means in 1 day, a movement up or down of 47.68 points. In a week, a movement up or down of 104.96 points. And in a month, a movement up or down of 218.49 points. Okay, we're going to move on to the next market. So the next one is oil. We're going to use @CL. That's the continuous futures contract for oil. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to squish this a little bit so we see what we need to see. There we go. Hopefully we can read the numbers okay. Okay, so once again on the bottom here, we have a thick blue dot, confirmed upwards climate, probabilities to the upside. That's what our auto climate app is telling us. Closest stack of buy orders is just here. That is 26.03 to 25.52. And you'll notice as well that we are just on top of another one. So we've got two buy UFOs just nestled into each other there, just at the bottom. Closest stack of sell orders, as shown to us by our red UFO, is 53.55 to 55.43. Now we can see here we are kind of in the middle, not really near either stacks of orders, which means it could shoot up, it could shoot down. We have no stacks of orders that are showing us what's going to happen there, but we do have probabilities to the upside when it comes to climate. So in terms of climate, normally oil would go up for 7 candles. Once again, rounding that up, 7 candles on a daily chart, and we're on candle number 5. So coming to the end of what is statistically likely, but still probability suggests that we still have a couple of days left of a move to the upside. And as we said, at the moment, we have no UFOs close by that could really give us an idea one way or the other what could be happening here. Of course, bear in mind, sometimes new orders come into the market and move them. But for the time being, it's just the climate really that's giving us any sort of direction there. And it looks like it's to the upside. Okay. So in terms of volatility, we use OVX.X. And we can see from that professional options traders would expect oil to move up or down in 1 year by 35.10%, which means a movement up or down in 1 day of 0.93 points, movement up or down in 1 week of 2.04 points, and a movement up or down in 1 month of 4.25 points. Okay, next market, we're going to look at gold. We're looking at GC. Once again, that's the continuous futures contract for gold. Okay, here we go. So we have a thick red dot in this occasion. So again, it's thick, so we have probabilities, but it's red, so it's telling us probabilities to the downside, confirmed downwards climate, probabilities to keep coming down. Now, we have closest stack of sell orders just here. That is 2039.7 to 2060.8. Closest stack of buy orders is here, 1836.7 to 1825.9. And we are once again pretty much between them, not really that near either stack of buy or sell orders that could push price one way or the other, but we have a confirmed downwards climate with probabilities there to the downside. Now we can see that normally gold would go down for 7 candles, and we're on candle number 4, meaning that we have probability, statistical likelihood that we at least have another couple of days left in this move to the downside. And again, like we said, not that close to either stacks of orders that could turn anything. But of course, be aware, new orders can come into the markets. Always manage our risk. Again, this is probable, not definite. So put as many odds on your side as possible, but manage your risk just in case. So coming down here, we look at GVZ.X or GVZ.X. And we see from that we would expect a movement in gold up or down in 1 year of 23.53%, which means in a day, a movement up or down of 29.1 points, in a week, up or down of 61.1 points, and in a month, a movement up or down of 133.4 points. Okay, last but not least, we're going to move on to the last market, which is Euro US dollar. This is the this is the spot Forex. For this market. So euro versus the US dollar. Okay, I just need to squish this down a little bit so we can see the sell orders there. I'm going to squish it a little bit more just so I can make a point about the buy orders. Okay, so once again, thick blue dot, confirmed upwards climate, probabilities to the upside. Closest stack of buy orders is here, 1.1597 to 1.1507. Just rounded that where it needs to be with the pip. Closest stack of sell orders up here, 1.2344 to 1.2414. Once again, just rounded that where it needs to be. Now we can see here that we do have quite a lot of buy orders on top of the other one. I think that's 8, if I can count that quickly with my eyes. Yes, I think we've got 8 stacks of buy orders on a daily chart here, one on top of the other. We can see that some of them have already worked. They've already done what we think they would do. So see here, this one here was a buy order. price came down, hit the buy orders, hit the buy UFO, went up, came back down, hit the buy UFO again, and went up. That's what we expect buy orders to do, is push price to the upside. That's what we expect our buy UFOs, our green UFOs to show us, is that they push price to the upside, and we can see that happening there. Now, at the moment, confirmed upwards climate, probabilities to the upside, a whole bunch of buy orders beneath us there, and sell orders for a little way off to the upside. Okay, so normally the euro US dollar would go up for 5 candles in a row, and we are on candle number 3. So once again, within the statistical probabilities that we're likely to see at least a continuous movement to the upside. And again, not really close to sell orders that we're likely to hit within the next day or so that could change anything. So probabilities there to the upside for the time being. We use EVZ.X or EVZ.X to understand volatility for the euro. And we can see that we would expect a movement up or down in 1 year of 7.76%. Which means in a day, a movement up or down of 58 pips. In a week, a movement up or down of 127 pips. And in a month, a movement up or down of 265 pips. Okay, so the volatility figures give us an idea of what we expect in terms of movement, how far we expect these prices to move within these given periods of time. The climate and propagating give us an idea of in which direction we're likely to see that movement. And the nearest UFOs give us an idea of where price might be likely to stop and turn to go in the other direction. Okay, so now we're going to come down and we're going to look at an indirect force in the markets. Now, what I mean by that is that the most direct force that we have in the markets are buy orders and sell orders. That's it. That's what moves price up or down. Now, of course, there can be many reasons as to why there are buy or sell orders, and news is one of them. So we do need to have a look at indirect forces. We do need to be aware of them, and we've chosen to show you reports and news. Now, saying that, what we look at is fxstreet.com/economic-calendar. We filter by high impact news, and we filter by US markets. Now, of course, if you trade outside of those parameters, maybe you trade outside of the US, or you want to look at news that has lower impact, maybe you look at much smaller timeframes or something, then of course you can go to that link and play about with the filters and obviously change it to whatever suits your trade plan better. Now, once we filtered by US markets and high impact news, we see that this week we don't actually have anything other than on Wednesday. So for today being Monday, nothing really going on that we can tell is going to have a high impact on the markets. Again, of course, sometimes the unexpected happens, news that comes out of nowhere. But in terms of expected reports, nothing until Wednesday that is likely to have a high impact on these markets. Okay, so a couple of reminders before we round off. If you want to join us, join the fun, be part of our futures, options, investing, stocks, sharpening, methodology, support, psychology sessions, you can join us, tradewithufos.com/you-can-trade. It is a 14-day free access, so you can try us out for a couple of weeks first, see if you like us, and then go from there. In terms of the next upcoming course, of course, we have psychology going on right now. After that is the futures class. So you can go to tradewithufos.com/futures live, and you can learn more about how we structure that class together, who's teaching it, what's included in it, and things like that. And just as a reminder, at the moment, we have basically a buy one, get one free offer. So you can register for any course and get a second one for free. Now, the second course has to be the same or lesser value than the first one. So go to the website, see what courses we do, see how you can put it together in such a way where you can make the most out of that offer. If you have questions on anything, not just about courses, but maybe the technology or something I've covered today, or you have questions, just email us, support@tradewithufos.com. For those that are joining us from within the Tradewith channel, we will see you in the futures, options, and after hours session today. So we'll see you there. Otherwise, I will be back tomorrow morning. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great trading day, great start to the week, and I will see you